Hiya guys, I hope you're well. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, please do subscribe for more Age of Sigmar content coming. However, I've been building up and painting my Kruleboyz for a Path to Glory, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to show you guys how I'm doing my bases. So nice and swampy and sort of so on and so forth. That's one of my kill bosses done. However, we are going to use my kill boss on Great Gnashtooth, which I finished painting the miniature, as an example as to how to do the base. And it's a few products and a few steps, but it's relatively easy to do, and I think it makes them look pretty cool and as if they're straight out of the swamp. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to use Sizzle Technical Sterling Battlemire, give it a good shake, and we're going to pick our patches that we want to be the ground or the mud. And there we go. So what I've done, obviously, I've done it quite gloopy because this is supposed to be a swamp after all. And some of the products I'm going to use work really well with a bit of sort of undulation under them. This area here that's still sort of beige black will be swamp, as well that area around there. But the first thing, guys, we need to do now is leave that to dry. While our Battlemire is fully drying, it's now sort of, at least it'll keep its position, so to speak. The next thing I'm going to do is a 50-50 mix of Warboss Green and Steel Legion Drab. And what I'm going to do with this, guys, really simple. I'm going to apply it on all the flat areas that I want to be swamp. Now our Battlemire is totally dry, we're going to apply a dry brush over the top. So we're going to use Steel Legion Drab, which is a base colour, and we're going to do this not necessarily evenly. And what I mean by that is, it's quite okay to have it in sort of patches, and all will become clear as we get on to the next stage. So I'm just going to go over the top, just to add a bit of undulation under there. Okay, it doesn't need to be, like we say, massively accurate. It doesn't need to be any sort of even, and all will become clear when we apply the next product. Our next step is AK Interactive Splatter Effects Wet Mud, and it's an acrylic that you can apply with an airbrush, but I actually like to use a brush, and it looks quite, what's the best way of putting it, opaque. But when it dries, it actually dries clear and just looks like wet mud. And what I'm doing, I'm applying this quite generously to the areas around the base. Because it's a swamp, I want it to be that wet effect. And when it dries, it just adds that air of realism. Okay, so I'm going quite generous. I'm getting it over his feet a little bit because he's going to be striding through it. Up against the walls, and I'm applying it across the top of that dry brush that we put on there. Now that the wet mud is almost dry, pun intended, I'm going to use some AK Interactive Water Gel Swamp Green, and funnily enough, I'm going to go over all the areas of swamp. Now that the resin is almost dry, as you can see, it dries clear. While it's at that stage, I'm going to come in and I'm going to apply some tufts to the mud. Now these are Gamer Grass Swamp Tufts, and I'm going to liberally apply them in areas just like that. Once I've applied the tufts, I'm going to go around the edge of the base with Rhinoxide, and then we're pretty much done once it's fully dry. And there we go, we're all dry. So yeah, that's how I do my swampy bases. So as you can see, I'm quite happy with it. It gives a bit of an undulating effect. I've done like the claws like pulling through the muck and stuff like that. yeah, and I think it's a few stages, but I like it. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but there you go. So yeah, there you go. So some swamp bases. If you've got any tips for me, any processes you want to share, guys, please comment below. And yeah, new people, drop us a sub. It means a lot to us. And there's more Age of Sigmar coming soon. But wherever you are in the world, stay safe, stay well, and happy hobbying.